really looks like it's about to rain, and this makes me sad and very unmotivated to do anything. But we're here, we're filming a video. I know this will be quite relevant to a lot of people because this sort of time of year, I know people are dealing with exams and uni work, school work, revision. I remember the time of doing exams, I was so stressed, but I pulled through. I managed to get some fairly decent grades, and I think that was down to revision. A lot of people don't really know where to begin when it comes to revisions. I've just compiled a few of my revision tips and how I revised and how I managed to deal with it all. So I thought I'd share those with you, and if they help you at all, then great. I feel like a lot of you will be watching this, you should be revising for exams, so by watching this video, you're kind of not procrastinating, it's helping you with revision. Okay, so one of the biggest things that helped me out was being able to concentrate, and this means no distractions from things like social media or my phone, no distractions from family coming in. I could just sit down at a big table with all of my bits and pieces about and just focus on what I was doing. So turn your phone off or put it on like the do not disturb mode so you don't get notifications from your social media. Also, let your family and friends know that you're revising and try and ask them not to disturb you. But something else that I found that really did help me concentrate and not to focus on other noises around me was to put on some music that didn't have words. I found Ludovico Einaudi really relaxing. He plays the piano and it's like orchestrated music. It's quite chilled, it helps me focus. Didn't have any words, so you're not going to be singing along to it. You could just listen and be in the moment and relax, but at the same time focus on what you're doing. My second tip is to find out what kind of a learner you are. Now, you may have heard this through school already. I know that when I was at school they touched upon that when we were doing revision stuff and learning about how to revise. But there are essentially 3 different types of learner that you can be. You can either be an audio learner, which means that you learn by listening to things and hearing things. You can be a visual learner, which means that you learn through colours and remembering how things look and where they were on the page. Or you can be a kinetic learner, and that means that you learn by doing things and being like physical and hands-on. So I personally was a visual learner, and this means that I really liked using highlighters and colour coding my work. I loved making revision like mood boards or posters, and I'd always make them look really visually appealing, really colourful. I'd draw little pictures as well, and one of the best things that helped me about that was that I would remember where they were on the page. So I'd make myself a mood board, I'd look at it and I'd visualise the title in the middle, and then up maybe at the top right hand corner there would be a note about this, or at the bottom left hand corner there would be another note and a picture that reminded me of that note. So when I was in the exams and I was trying to think of like specific theories for media, for example, I could remember that, oh, this theorist was written down here, and I remember where he was on the page. I also did all my different notes on different coloured pieces of cards, so I knew that red was for media, yellow was for drama, green was for psychology and things like that, so that when I was in the exams for these subjects I'd have like my green head on for the psychology. So colour coding everything really helped me. If you're an auditory learner, you can learn by making yourself like a podcast or a playlist of your revision notes where you could just read them out loud, so then you remember how things sound. You can listen to podcasts that other people have made, so of like study tips. You can watch YouTube videos online, watch and hear going through the revision notes online. I'm sure there are like millions of different YouTube kind of videos out there tailored to specific parts of revision, so definitely check those out. And if you're a kinetic learner, you learn by doing things, so you could rewrite your notes over and over again. That's something that I know people do sometimes in the aid of making it neat or whatever, but they're really just kind of getting used to writing it in the physical writing of that. That's why, especially for kinetic learners, I'd advise handwriting your notes instead of typing them up. I'm quite a creative person, so I always handwrite my notes. I could draw little doodles and just put anything I wanted anywhere I wanted on the page, rather than having to fight with the computer and limit text boxes and trying to make things not move all over the page. That's just going to take up more time, and that's not really what you want to do. You want to focus and you want to use your time effectively. So find out what kind of learner you are. Use revision techniques that would support what kind of learner you are. I also found it was really helpful to do past papers. There are millions of past papers online. You just need to find out what exam board that your exam will be done by and the subject that it is on. You can ask your teachers or your lecturers to find out if they know any places or they have any past papers that you could practice with. I found this was really helpful because sometimes when I was revising I didn't know what I didn't know, if that makes sense. So they say when you're revising you shouldn't re-revise everything that you've already learned and the stuff you already know, because you know that and you don't need to go over it again. But then if you don't know something, how are you going to know what it is? I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but basically when you're going through a revision, a past paper, you get to the questions, and if you don't know the answer to the question, you can go and find it out. So that's something I use, because then it highlighted the bits that I didn't know and the bits that I knew I needed to focus on with the coming revision. If exams make you really nervous and that whole test condition of being silent for 2 hours and sitting still, that's something I really struggled with as well, sitting still for 2 hours. I generally get a bit fidgety if I'm sat down for too long and in one place and I can't move and get up, so that was a struggle for my concentration. But if you just practice that by doing the exam papers in test conditions, that could help. Didn't work for me, but it might do for you, and it could help you get through the 2 hours because you'll know what's coming and you'll be used to kind of doing that. You can also try and walk around while you're going through revision notes. I found this was particularly helpful when I was learning lines for drama. I'd have my lines in my hand, I'd highlight them all orange because orange is my get stuff done colour, and then I'd walk around in little circles around the drama studio looking at my lines, reciting them back to me and reciting them out loud as well. This definitely helps because you're kind of engaging more muscles and using your whole body to learn things. So you can do that with your revision as well. So if you've got revision cards or you're reading a book, just walk around the house with your book, with your revision cards, just testing yourself. Something else you can try doing is teaching your friends or family about a topic that you're revising. So I always think that to teach someone else, you have to have a really firm understanding of what you're saying, because if the other person doesn't know anything about it, you have to make them understand the theories, the techniques, everything about what it is you're teaching them, and that means that you need to know it pretty well yourself. And the other person that you're explaining it to might have questions that could help you understand it further by having to explain it to them. If you read something like a massive paragraph and then just relay it back word for word, you're not really gonna get as good a knowledge of it as you were if you were to read it and then explain it to someone else in your own words. Because to do that you have to read it all in, take it, process it, and then put it into your own words and then be able to relay it back out. So that's something that can really help you with your understanding of it, is just to try and teach someone else. Even just being social with someone else and having people around you who you can go through things with and bounce ideas off, that can really help as well. I found that when I was revising for my, was it A-level? No, GCSEs I think it might have been. Me and all my friends, we'd have time off from school, but our school was right next to a massive field, so we used to go there, we'd get food and nibbles and sit around and we'd all revise together, which was really nice. And that summer was such a sunny, beautiful summer, so we could spend it outside, and I think that really helped as well because you're outside, you're soaking up the sunshine, vitamin D puts people in a good mood, it can help relax you, and we were surrounded by grass and trees and things, and the oxygen was really getting to our brains, and it was great. And we had each other there as well, so if two people were studying the same topic or in the same class, you could bounce ideas off of each other and help each other. You could test each other as well. You could make flashcards and then get someone else to go through them with you, and the stuff you don't know, obviously you can go through together. I'd also recommend that when you are revising on your own, to set yourself a timer. Now, I knew when I was revising, or when I should be revising rather, I used to procrastinate so much. I'd do meaningless little jobs that didn't really need doing just to avoid kind of just sitting down, getting there and revising. I mean, I still do this now with jobs that I don't want to do. And when I procrastinate as well, I feel really guilty. I'm like, I know I should be doing this, but I just don't really want to right now. So to avoid that kind of guilty feeling, the thing you need to do is just to sit down and do it. Set yourself a timer, for example, an hour that you're going to revise solidly. And having the timer set there as well, you can see the minutes counting down, and your adrenaline's gonna kick in, and you're gonna think, oh my god, look, I've got X amount of minutes left to do all of this stuff. I need to just focus and get it done. And by having that timer there, you're working against the clock, and you're gonna be focused and motivated to try and get everything done, because this is the only hour that you're gonna have to revise today. And once you finish that hour, you can just stop and say, look, I've done my revision. I don't need to feel guilty that I'm not revising anymore because I've I've done it, I've got everything I need to do down, and then I can just relax. I always found that the whole I should be revising right now guilty feeling made me so stressed when I was revising, or when I wasn't revising, when I should be revising. I felt so guilty when I wasn't. That's probably one of the biggest tips I'd recommend, is just to allot yourself an hour and just get it done. Get it done now, and you will feel so much better after. Read for fun. A lot of people don't read, and this kind of saddens me because reading is a way of relaxing, it's a way of sort of activating your brain and your mind, but still not working and thinking too hard about things. So I used to find that when I was reading the Harry Potter books, I swear the quality of my writing got so much better. I don't know how to explain that, but I'd always try and read the Harry Potter books or reread them while I was doing my exams, because my written communication was just like top notch. I was using big words, I was flowing well, I was making sense. I don't know if you can see me right now because it's so cloudy outside that I think it's gonna rain anytime soon. I feel like there's a storm brewing. I've heard as well that people are more productive in the mornings, so try a morning revision session. People say that if you do a workout in the morning, then you're gonna set yourself up for the day. You've already started and done like the main thing on your to-do list, so you can relax and you've got a new energy about you, rather than having this sort of sickening feeling that, yo, I've got to revise later this afternoon, it's something I need to do. Just get it over and done with. After you've done your exams, in that like exam week or 2-week period, try to give yourself a bit of time afterwards just to chill out, because you will have been cramming for this one exam. You sit a 2-hour exam, and then if you've got more exams to do, then you're going to try and cram a bit more, which I understand, I get it, but you do need to find time to sit down and just relax. And after my 2-hour long drama exam, which was all written, like writing solidly for 2 hours hurts. So I came home and I watched 9 episodes of Game of Thrones. They are all an hour long, so I spent 9 hours sat on the sofa watching them back to back and only moving to get food and go to the toilet. That really helped, I think. Definitely recommend that. Oh, it started raining. Why, England? And my last tip is to make sure that you are eating properly. I know how easy it is to snack on rubbish when you're revising for exams, but honestly, eating healthy will make you feel so much better about it all. I really notice a difference even now when I'm not revising or stressing about anything, as to when I eat healthy and when I don't. When I have a bit of a binge session, was eating out every night. It was when my family came down, my last video actually. We ate out every night for about 4 or 5 days. I had a McDonald's in like the week after that as well. I ate loads of chocolate. My skin like broke out and I could feel that I was so tired all the time. Since then, I've tried to be really clean and eat really healthy, and I've noticed that it does give me so much more energy to eat healthy foods. It gives me like a new lease of life almost. So I really notice the difference. You can snack on fruit, try and eat wholesome meals as well, natural foods. Fish, they say, is really good for your brain cells. When you live in London, sirens are like a constant background noise. Okay, it's really dark and it's chucking it down with rain, so I'm going to finish this up now. But I just want to say good luck to everyone with your exams, with your revision. Don't stress too much because you're going to smash it, but just work hard, try out some of those revision tips and let me know how you get on. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you in my next video. Bye!